Good morning, my fellow M5s. My name is Ma, and this is my friend Julius.
Hello.
Together we have written 7 short sci-fi stories because of our love for the genre. Science fiction and our education are connected more than you had expected them to today's generation. The world has advanced more than you can imagine. These advancements have already been implemented into our educational system. Just imagine yourself being taught by an emotionless screen filled with endless knowledge but devoid of emotion. This will be the future of the education. In this presentation, we are going to present about the similarities and differences between the story The Fun They Had and the video entitled Finland School Tries Out Robots as Teachers. We'll be discussing the elements that both texts have in common and the elements that are different in, based on their theme, content, stylistic devices, and purpose.
So moving on to the overview, in text 1, The Fun They Had is a sci-fi story written by a Russian-born American writer named Isaac Asimov. The story is set in the future year of 2155, where children are able to learn individually at their own home along with a mechanical teacher. And this story was first appeared in the year 1951, and it was reprinted and modified through the years. So in this story, we have 2 main characters. First off, we have Marty, and second of all, we have Tommy. In this story, it's a set piece where Tommy has found a real book in the attic, and they read this book about their grandparents' school life centuries ago, and they were fascinated about the story. And in this text too, we have this YouTube video title name called Finland Schools Tries Out Robots. It's a video that is set in the present right now. It's about robots being used to teach primary kids, and it was posted by Scroll.in. Well, what do these robots have in common? Well, they are very knowledgeable. For example, in the first robot, Elias can speak and learn and teach 23 languages. These robots are able to analyze students' behavior, thought process, and learning process, and they are able to question every student accordingly. And they are very patient and are very able to help shy students and to help them to practice speaking languages and able to learn with more confidence.
So moving on to the similarities. So the similarity between both texts is both use a mechanical robots filled with endless knowledge to teach students. A good example in text 1 is she always had to write them out in a punch code that made her learn when she was 6 years old, and a mechanical teacher completed the mark in no time. Following up with another example in text 2 is Elias has been trialed in the Finnish city of Tampere for a year, along with math robot Ozobot. So the explanation for the both texts is the story and video are similar in the sense that they are talking about robots and are situated in a learning environment, such as a classroom or a
So, moving on, we have the purpose. So in text 1, the purpose of it is to entertain and to attract audience attention. And this evidence says that the part she hated the most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code that made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the mark in no time. This explains that the scientific language appeals to fans of science fiction. And now in text 2, the purpose of it is to inform the audience that this new technology has been implemented to the Finland education system to teach primary students. Now, we extract the evidence from text 2. Kids can practice languages without fear of making mistakes. Robots easy to approach and easy to interact with. So this explains that the phrase shows that how this new technology is implemented to teach children both Elias and Overbot are.
So moving on to the stylistic devices. So in the first text, the author used literary devices such as imageries and similes to attract the audience. A good example is they turned the pages which were yellow and crinkly. This is an imagery. A man can know as much as a teacher. This is a simile. So why would the author use imageries and similes? Can you guys know? It's because using imageries to bring the readers into the story, so when the reader read the story with an emotion, it's much more easier to relate to a situation. The word yellow gives a clue to how the page looked like, and the word crinkly lets the reader imagine how the pages sounded when Mary and Tommy were reading. Similes gives context for comparison, as much as the reader compared to intellectually of an adult man to a mechanical teacher. So in text 2, the video shows they use facial expression gesture instead of using literary devices to attract the audience. So when you watch the video, you can see that when the co-founder of the robot speaks, she uses hand gesture to emphasize the point robot is easy to approach. So, when the scene jumps to a class teacher speaking, she uses an optimistic facial expression to inform the audience that robots can bring lots of benefits into the educational system. So why would they use hand gestures and facial expression in the video? Is because using them help to attract the audience attention and to attract the interest of an audience.
Okay, so moving to the last conclusion. So the conclusion we have found out is the deployment of robots to the education that can have positive and negative impact on other students' behavior. So when robots replace human teachers, yes, they can be more intelligent and more talented, but children does not have the chance to have a social interactions with them because they are emotionless and they have no other human emotions like us, like we do, and which can lead to social and academic problems unless the robots have come to the aid of human teachers to control the children instead of replacing the humans themselves. And in text 1 and text 2, it has connections to this conclusion. It has impacted on different point of view from other kids when interacting with robot teachers based on their performance. And this is the MRA citation we have, and thank you very much.